Today we're going to talk about the ultimate luxury starter kit. Listen, we've all been there. Sooner or later, everybody finds themselves in a position, if you are into luxury and into fashion and into beautiful objects, sooner or later in life, you make that decision to say to yourself, you know what? I really love certain objects and fashion objects, and I want to start buying them. Now, you might be on a budget. You might be super young, like a student when you fall in love with luxury products. You might be whatever age you are, but you got to start somewhere, right? And it doesn't have to be a ginormous beginning. You don't have to immediately jump into the ultra expensive things because, like I always say, luxury doesn't always equal expensive. And as Coco Chanel would always say, the opposite of luxury is not poverty. The opposite of luxury is vulgarity. She would also say the best things in life are free, second best are very expensive. So bear in mind that in my humble opinion, the biggest luxury we have is time. You cannot buy time. Once your time is up, it's up. You can be as rich as you want with money, but time is pure luxury. So enjoy the time you have, enjoy the time you're given, enjoy the time in your life, and enjoy it in as many ways as possible. But if you like using beautiful objects, and those beautiful objects happen to belong and be made by brands that are deemed luxury brands, well then, here's the place to be right now with our ultimate luxury guide tip. So, starter kit. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already here on the tubes. You can push the join button next to the subscription button, become a member today and gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, Super Dacob all spelled together there for extra perks as well. Thank you to my members and patrons who have already pledged. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience during my live streams. I live stream several times a week, and so I'm going to read the live chats as we go along. You guys, I have prepared a wonderful list of objects to show you, like materially show you, not just talk about them, because I do have a collection as well. And I've been a collector and a lover of luxury goods for many, many, many years, and I have accumulated a collection, and I've utilized these products for so long that I have the experience that I can tell you from personal experience what is really worth it, like what is good and what is not good. First thing to say, and we're going to touch base on Chanel, Hermes, Dior, Louis Vuitton, the big four. But the first thing to say is, and it took me a while to learn this and to be at peace with it with myself. The most important thing is, I have made a decision, a conscious decision, to only from now on buy luxury pieces that I will use. And in the past, I would buy things that I would use and wear, but a lot of the things I would buy, I would also buy them to collect. Oh, this is a great collectible, great for the collection, great to put on the mantle, great to put it in a shrine, in a little vitrine, in a little closet, wardrobe moment, whatever, collectible. And in another video I made a couple of weeks ago, I came to this conclusion and I said, well, you guys, collectible only means really one thing, collecting dust. Because ultimately, it is what it is. Now, some people don't mind that, and they love cleaning the dust off of those collectibles. It's a meditational moment. But been there, done that. It's very space cluttering, and you end up becoming a kind of a hoarder. Oh, honey, listen, I've been down that road. It's a very slippery slope, okay? So I've come to my own conclusion that the best is to really enjoy life, enjoy that true luxury that is given to you, that is time, and enjoy that time with the pieces that you have. Use the beautiful luxury objects that you have. That's why they bring you joy, because they embellish your day. They're like beautiful accessories that give you an accent to your mood and your vibe every day. So if you're just starting your luxury journey, and let's begin with Louis Vuitton. Why do we begin with Louis Vuitton? We begin with Louis Vuitton because Louis Vuitton is, of the four that I've mentioned, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Dior, Chanel, it's the one that price-wise is still less expensive than the other three. It's still expensive. We're still in that luxury realm, but it's not as expensive as the others. So it's our first step into the luxury world, Louis Vuitton. And the first piece I want to show you is not so easy to hunt down. It's often sold out. But if you do manage to hunt it down, I can tell you, it's a doozy. This one here. It is the key pouch or the clay pouch. I prefer mine in monogram canvas. I'm a huge fan of the Louis Vuitton monogram canvas. It is lined in leather, you guys. The interior is in leather. And I use it for keys, but you can, of course, take off the keys if you want. Hold on. I haven't done it in years. I always keep my keys here. And you can attach something else to this little thing. Or you can attach this to your pants and use this as a little wallet instead of a key pouch. You can also put headphones in there, earplugs, what have you, cards, paper money, coins, things to protect yourself, because, listen, enjoy yourselves in bed with whoever you want, but stay safe. Always stay safe. So you'd be surprised how many things fit in here and how many beautiful uses this has. You can, of course, also put this inside and have it as a little miniature clutch as well. This little baby also keeps going up in price all the time. You might think it's so teeny tiny. Yes, it is, but it gives you, it's still really expensive for what it is. And bear in mind that luxury is like buying into a dream that a brand manufactures in your mind to make you believe that if you own a piece of that brand, you will be living a certain type of lifestyle. Now, that's all up to brand marketing, and brand marketing is really good at manipulating our sense of self. So try to not let that get to you. Especially try to not allow brand marketing and what brand marketing generates, being FOMO, meaning fear of missing out, to get to you too much. And also and especially do not allow the brands to shame you into thinking that you cannot afford the bigger items. Because when you're beginning your first luxury journey, of course you're going to think about the big numbers. What are the big hitters? At Hermes, it's the Birkin and the Kelly. At Chanel, it's the timeless classic double flap with a double C logo. Or if you're more into the quiet luxury version of it, it is the 255 timeless classic. And of course, the brands make these almost unattainable for the masses because here's a little trick that you should know, a little secret. The brands don't want you to obtain those highest end luxury products. Like, for example, here, let's go to Chanel quickly. I got you covered. Here we got the timeless classic double flap, caviar leather black gold hardware in the size small. You can see the little double flap on the side. They don't want you to be able to afford this because as long as you cannot afford this, they're going to occupy a space in your mind. They're going to keep you thinking about them. You're going to keep yearning and longing for this piece that they're pricing just out of reach constantly, all the time. And it's done on purpose so that you keep buying the smaller pieces, so that you keep buying those items that you can afford. The brand prefers you to keep buying the smaller items, but to keep buying more of them because that generates ultimately more income for them than if you just bought that one big ticket item and then be done. Because once you've got this, trust you me, I've been there, it loses power over you. Once you finally get that piece you're longing for, that highest ticket item from the brand, well, the magic is gone. The dream kind of poof, evaporates kind of, and the brand loses power over you. They lose that space that they occupy in your head. You will be less obsessed with the brand once you actually manage to obtain the piece. It's like in relationships when you're hunting and you want to date somebody and you're always, scrolling to the left or to the right, depending if you're online dating or whatever. And you always think, oh, that person that I desire so much, oh, they're acting, they're playing hard to get. But once that person actually really says, okay, let's do this, let's go on a date together, and then a little bit of the magic is gone. You know what I mean? Same applies to this. Brand marketing is utilizing the same strategies. So bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. you know, they're they're occupying that. They're like realtors. They're occupying real estate in your head, and you're giving them that real estate. Be conscious of that. Now, if you are conscious of that, but you still want to go into buying luxury products, then I can tell you definitely start with Louis Vuitton with the key pouch, because it's going to give you a feel for the canvas. It's going to make you feel like, okay, do I like how it feels? Do I like the tactile experience of it? Do I like how it smells? Yes, luxury also has a smell. All of these products have their own particular smell. The Louis Vuitton canvas has a very particular smell, and it's a beautiful smell, especially when they're new. And it's also a way to identify the authentics, because they have a very, very special smell, and also a tactile feeling. Do you like it? You do? You're enjoying it? Okay, we can step it up then. Once you're enjoying it, you could invest a little bit more into something like this little zippy coin purse or coin wallet. I guess it's a zippy coin purse. Hold on. I had this for almost, gosh, I don't know, 10, 12 years now. Look at this beauty. I use this, guys, I use this every single day. Every single day. I throw it around in my bag. I throw it in my coat. It's fallen on the floor sometimes when I pick it out of my jacket. Almost 12 years old or even more. And look at that gorgeous patina on the canvas. I never had to exchange the zipper or the zipper pull. So my cost per wear with this small leather good is amazing. And I am a sucker for the monogram canvas. And I can tell you, the older this thing gets, the more I use it, the more glossy it becomes, because you keep kind of touching it and rubbing it. Worth every penny to me. Worth every penny. So this is one of those pieces where you realize how good a luxury piece can be if it's produced properly. This one is lined in leather on the inside, okay? And just for those of you who don't know and you're new to luxury, the canvas outside is not leather. It is a plastic coating, and the interior of it is synthetic canvas. And then they can line it in leather if they want to, but a lot of their canvas pieces are not lined in leather. If you're enjoying the wallet, then you could step it up even further. The wallet is around $400, $500. Prices keep going up. If you're lucky enough to find it, this one is usually sold out, always online, and really hard to get in the stores. But if you want to experience the Louis Vuitton monogram bag in canvas, so now we're stepping it up a notch in the bag area. Yes, this thing is super expensive, but it's a wonderful bag. This is the Pochette Accessoires in the monogram canvas. It's over $1,000. Yes, it's really expensive. And this is the example of the canvas, exterior canvas and interior lining in the synthetic lining, which we also find in the Keepalls as well as the Speedies. Okay, so if you can get your hands on this one, you can detach the strap. It's really gorgeous because you can use it as a clutch. You can use it as a beauty case. You can use it as a little Y2K moment over the shoulder. And it is very expensive now. It didn't used to cost so much in the past, but it still doesn't cost $10,000 like a Chanel bag of an equivalent or similar size would cost you. So it doesn't break the bank as much, but it gives you the luxury vibe and the luxury feel for Louis Vuitton standards. So this is definitely something I would recommend for your luxury starter kit at Louis. Now, if we're going to go to, after Louis, if we're going to step it up a notch and we go to Hermes, I can tell you Hermes, you know, the Birkin and the Kelly, they're super expensive. We're not going to get them that easily. There's a whole other journey system in some countries connected with obtaining those heavy hitter items that are very, very expensive. But if we're just starting our luxury path and we want to get a feel for Hermes quality, I highly recommend their fine jewelry. In fact, I'm wearing their Champ d'Ancre extra large or très grand modèle in a size 12 bracelet in silver. They also do them in gold. Their silver is gorgeous. I really enjoy their silver. They're priced relatively fairly as opposed to other luxury brands selling fine jewelry. By the way, Chanel, for example, because they did not want to have affordable jewelry, they discontinued their silver jewelry. They used to have it. I actually have an example here. A really gorgeous, simple Chanel silver bracelet in a very interesting chain. that I also wear often. From this one was maybe 15 years old, and when they used to still sell silver. Gorgeous piece, love it to bits. They discontinued their silver because it was too affordable for them. They wanted to be even more luxe. Doesn't show me, you know, a lot of good from Chanel that they did that. But anyway, silver, Hermes silver is gorgeous. Now, if you don't want to commit to something so big, they do have different sizes of this. I actually did not buy this first. I bought this one first, many, many years ago. It is the Champ d'Ancre kind of solid bracelet, also in silver. And we put it on like this. I would not recommend wearing them both at the same time because they can scratch each other up. So I had this one for many years. You can see how beautifully the silver darkens with time. So this one is going to cost you way less than this one, obviously. So it's a great way to start your collection, to see if you like the feel of their silver, the shape, the Champ d'Ancre motif, which is a classic Hermes motif, and it is also very, very typical to Hermes. It's also very quiet luxury, because this piece, like, if you know, you know. I mean, many people can recognize a Birkin and a Kelly a mile away, so it's debatable whether or not that's quiet luxury. This, on the other hand, is quiet luxury, and it's not going to break the bank. You're going to be spending between $500 for the smaller one. I think it just went up in price. Now it's a bit more. And then up to $2,000 for this one, or $1,500, depending which country you're buying it in. And extra tip to give you here, you're going to notice if you're wearing Hermes fine jewelry, when you're wearing it to go to Hermes, the sales associates will notice. And it doesn't matter if everything else you have on is not Hermes. You have a little piece of jewelry from Hermes, when you enter an Hermes boutique, they will treat you differently. Because they're going to see, oh, wow, okay, this person is really into our brand. They're not here just to try to score a Birkin or a Kelly or a Constance. They're actually here because they love what we do. And the sales associates at Hermes usually are very proud of the products that they're selling. So show them respect, you know. This is a door opener. Really is. Not necessarily for getting a Birkin or a Kelly, forget about that, but just for getting a sales associate to talk more with you, to open up more to you, because every sales associate at Hermes is specialized in a different sector of the brand. So some of them are specialized in silks, some of them are specialized in homeware, some of them are specialized in jewelry, some of them are specialized in leather, some of them are specialized in the horse riding gear, some of them are specialized in prêt-à-porter. And it's a wonderful thing when an Hermes sales associate actually opens up and shares their knowledge with you. It can be a really fun experience. So Hermes, definitely fine jewelry. I love their silver in particular. Great entry level starter kit for luxury, for sure. Also at Hermes, if you're into silk and carrés, I'm not, because I overheat if I have too much silk around my neck, but their silk carrés are bomb. Like, you can't get better quality anywhere else. I don't think so. And again, they're going to cost you, depending on the size of the silk foulard / carré, they could be $400, $500, $600, $700, $900, depending if it's silk, if it's cashmere. But the prints are gorgeous. They always keep coming out with new whimsical prints, new whimsical color patterns. And they also have little booklets that showcase you so many different ways that you could style the scarves and the carrés. You could also wear them as tops. You could turn them into clothing outfits as well, not just neck gear. And also, what I personally enjoy really very much for the starter kit in luxury at Hermes would be their toys, as well as their horse riding gear, or just general whimsical beach apparel. For example, not apparel, beach accessories. I'm a sucker for stuff like this. So, for example, their frisbee. It's made in France. Yeah, is it plastic? Sure. Is it overpriced for a frisbee? Yes. But this is a whimsical piece that you will really enjoy for many years. I know I am. I mean, I use it as a fan. During my videos and live streams, if something shameful happens, I use it as my frisbee of shame. And also, I flip it and I use it as a snack platter. I put like donuts on here, and it's just a... and of course, if you're out and about, you take it with you and you use it as a, well, frisbee, because that's what it is. But pieces like these are going to cost you under $200. With the latest price increase, maybe they're over 200, but you know, still, try to ask Chanel how much their frisbee costs. It's over $2,000. Yeah, a Chanel frisbee, the last one that they released a year ago, was $2,000. Granted, it's made in polycarbon fiber, blah, 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 but it's over $2,000. This thing is under $200, last I checked. When I bought it, it was at least. So there's the whimsical stuff as well. Their cards are amazing. They have beautiful also memory game cards, and they're so beautifully detailed and drawn and printed. So those are little novelty pieces that Hermes prides themselves in. And most importantly, I would recommend you to look at their kind of hidden part of their website, where they showcase and sell the so-called Petite H collection, the Little H collection. Sustainability is the word du jour there. Whatever leftover materials, silks, leather goods, woods they have, whatever, you know, leftovers they have, they put them together to not throw away whatever leftovers they have, and they make little objects out of them. They can be even little bags, or they can be brooches, pins, bookmarks. They can be bag charms. They even make little furniture pieces in the Petit Touch collection. And usually the prices there are lower, because they also want it to be sustainable and more affordable, but they're very whimsical, very fun, and they keep rotating and they keep having new stuff. They keep inventing new designs all the time. So it's kind of also fun to recheck the website. Not every Hermes boutique carries the Petite H collection, but the website does. And so it's always fun to check the website and see all the new things that come in. So Hermes is actually really playful, and you can get some really, really fun things that are not necessarily a Birkin or a Kelly. Just saying. So that's my starter kit for Hermes. For Chanel, obviously we've seen, you know, the ultimate goal. Here we go, the Timeless Classic double flap, or the 255 double flap, and they don't want you to get this. Oh, by the way, you know how some people online are going to tell you, in my humble opinion, erroneously. By the way, everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only. It's just my opinion. Everything I say in this video is just my opinion. It's not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged. So allegedly, some other content creators or YouTubers are going to tell you, in my humble opinion, erroneously, how, you know, Chanel only wants to sell to the rich, and that the rich keep Chanel going. I do not agree with that statement at all. There's several examples of how this situation actually can be proven wrong. For example, if you think about it, if Chanel were only to cater to rich people, right? And they were only to want the rich to buy their products, why do you think Chanel would invest millions in advertising their products and putting posters in shopping malls? Shopping malls where literally every class goes to shop, from the person who can barely afford or not even be able to afford a lipstick to the person who can afford a bag. Why would they advertise in magazines that are also catered to lower income families? Or, you know, sure, glossy paper, we're talking fashion, but not everything is Vogue. But Chanel doesn't only advertise in Vogue. Why are they advertising everywhere? Why do they want to reach even the person who cannot afford this bag? Well, my theory is because they want also the person who cannot afford this bag to buy Chanel, because they need your money, honey, no matter what social level you're on, okay? And the proof is in the pudding. So this is kind of that bag, as I explained earlier. They don't want you to really get it, because if you are able to afford it, they might lose that power over you. But let's say you appreciate the heritage of Chanel and you want to purchase their products. Well, here I have my favorite item, which I've mentioned in my other video as well when I was talking about this, you know, when you enter a Chanel boutique, it's a pret-a-porter boutique. So it's not haute couture. They do not sell haute couture, meaning handmade items in their pret-a-porter boutiques. So it's kind of, the pret-a-porter is like fast fashion for Chanel. Sure, some items might have some handmade parts on them, but the actual garment is machine made. In order for a garment to be haute couture, every step of the way it has to be made by hand. Now, the only item that you can readily find in a pret-a-porter Chanel boutique that is haute couture, actually, that's why it costs a little bit more, because it's handmade, that would be the Chanel flower brooches, the camellias. They call them camellias, even though not all of them are camellias. Here I have a beautiful example in silk, in crêpe de chine. This is a mix of crêpe de chine and cotton. It's a blend. This is from 2021, spring summer, handmade in France, camellia. This is a beautiful one, very complicated to manufacture. Every single one of these petals is cut by hand and also folded by hand and pressed by hand and wetted and drenched into the material. So look at the back, for example. Each one of these is hand squished into this shape. Each one of the petals is hand formed and then sewn partially and partially glued together. Every camellia has its own stamp in the back. This one was made in France in 2021. The stamp states it very clearly. The actual little metal clip, the pin, is hand sewn onto the camellia. It's something you can only do by hand. So you can see here the hand stitch there and there. It's a black thread. I know a lot of people think, oh, it's such a waste of money. The camellia costs a lot. Now, the camellias begin at around $600, depending how big they are and what materials were used to make them. They can go into the 2,000 range even. They are very, very complex things to make, and it takes time to make them. But they, you know, so it's something with a smaller camellia, classic shaped camellia, it's going to start at around $600-700, and then they go upwards. But what I want to say is, even if you don't have the budget for a full Chanel outfit, I can tell you this, the classic Chanel camellias, and I have quite a few of them, I purposely didn't want to show you the most cliche version of the camellia with the rounded petals that we know from Karl Lagerfeld's 90s Chanel fashion shows, because this video is also hinting more towards quiet luxury. So the more kind of a rare shape of a camellia for Chanel is more quiet luxury. Even though we do have that logo, see it poking out right there, the little double C, black on black. Chanel is always sure that in their pret-a-porter collections, they always show the logo somewhere. So there is a logo there, which means this piece is not fully quiet luxury. But what I want to say is, even though this is not the most classical of shapes for Chanel camellias, still, no matter what outfit you have, this thing is going to pep up an outfit like nothing else. I mean, immediately, everything changes. Immediately. If you have a hat, you can put the camellia in the hat. You can also place the camellia in the hair to the side. You can also wear it in the hair. If you have a coat or a jacket, you can put it on the jacket. If you have a fabric bag, don't do it with leather, but if you have a tweed bag or a jersey bag, it's also really gorgeous to put the camellia on the bag. A lot of people wear their camellias on the bags, not on leather, because you don't want to poke and perforate the leather, obviously. But it's also a beautiful thing to put on bags. This little object embellishes and peps up your look immediately. It elevates you, and it adds so much elegance to your outfit. It doesn't matter the color of the flower, and they make them in all sorts of colors. Every season they bring new ones out. It's such an underestimated piece at Chanel, and a lot of people don't buy it because they think, I'm at Chanel, I want to buy a bag. Give me some small leather good. Give me a little wallet. Give me something. And I always say, you want the essence of Chanel and you want to have a piece of kind of haute couture, you get the Camellia. You get the Chanel Camellia. It's a must-have, and it's such a staple. Timeless. You will never get tired of it. Coincidentally, when we're talking about Louis Vuitton and timelessness, one of the reasons why I love the monogram canvas is because it's also timeless. You know, the monogram canvas has been around since the 20s, actually even earlier than the 20s. But if you buy a classic shape of a Louis Vuitton piece, you're never going to get tired of it. Speaking of classic shapes, I would highly recommend, if you do have the budget, if you're around a $1,500 to $2,200 budget, get yourself a Speedy. Audrey Hepburn wore her Speedies like nobody else. She was so elegant. Yes, Audrey Hepburn had the monogram Speedy. Again, the Speedy is older than the Chanel 255. The Chanel 255 bag was created in 1955. The Speedy was already around in the 20s. So this thing is a true testament to time. And obviously, since it was around much longer than the 255 bag, it's also kind of cool to see that this one did not go up in price as much as the Chanel 255 bag. Yes, it's also gone up in price extremely a lot. But to me, this is such a classic. Dare I say, the most classic of all Louis Vuitton bags. And if we compare it to any other luxury brand out there of the main four, Dior, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Hermes, this is the most affordable of the four brands. If you're going to buy a classic, and by classic, I mean Lady Dior at Dior, Birkin Kelly Constance at Hermes, Chanel 255 at Chanel. And it's the Speedy. Pardon me. It's the Speedy at Louis Vuitton. And it's also, of all of these bags that I've mentioned, this is the oldest one in terms of design. So this is classic. And I personally would not recommend the bandolier because the old school version of it comes without the shoulder strap, but some people find it much more comfortable to wear the shoulder strap. This is a Speedy 35. They also make a size 30 and a size 25, and then they make the nano, the micro, the mini. I mean, I love the Speedy so much. I actually also have the little teeny tiny one somewhere. It's so tiny that it's gone. Where did it go? Where did the little one? Ah, there you go. Tallulah. Micro Speedy that I say only holds broken dreams. This is a bag charm, but I bought it because I just love the Speedy so much. I also have a Speedy 30. That I use on to run quick errands on the town. The 35 is more of a business attire. This is a workhorse. I travel with this one, and holds the computer, my makeup if I'm in a pinch and I have something to do quickly, work-wise, filming. Such a beautiful bag, but on its own, super light. Which is not the case with any other of the other luxury brand bags that I mentioned before. This thing is light as a feather. Of course, it gets heavy if you stuff it with stuff, but in its own, it weighs almost nothing. So durable, beautiful bag. I love it to bits. Also, coincidentally, some people that are scared of the vaqueta leather, of getting stained, I purchased this new in the Louis Vuitton shop, and I have an extra video on my channel. Go check that video out on how to take care of your vaqueta leather so that it does not stain, or that it doesn't stain as much and as quickly. So I've been utilizing that tip, how to clean and take care of the vaqueta leather, and thus far, no stains for me, and I use this bag a lot. So check out that video as well if you're interested in the Louis Vuitton canvas, how to take care of the vaqueta leather and are scared of buying a monogram piece because of the vaqueta. No reason to be. So gorgeous. Plus, it patinas so beautifully with time. And you will never get tired of a Speedy. I'm telling you here and now. You might, from time to time, say, let me put you away for a month or two or a year. But honey, after that 1 year is gone, you're going to be coming back and rediscovering your Speedy, and you're going to be falling in love with it all over again. All over again. Because this thing, this is style. This is not fashion. This transcended fashion. The fact that it's been around since the 20s is a true testament to its style. And that's what I've been showing you with all these pieces thus far. They are style. They are not just fashion. Big tip for you if you're starting a luxury fashion collection. Try to veer away from fashion trends. Because what is trendy today is going to cost a lot. And the brands are going to try to hype that FOMO to try to get everybody to desire that piece, to need that piece, when in reality, most trendy seasonal pieces, SLGs, clothing, bags, they're designed quickly for the moment, and they do not have that je ne sais quoi that allows them to transcend trends and fashions. And you're going to get bored of them. They're going to look heavy, aesthetically heavy. You know, they're going to feel dated very, very soon. And you're going to regret it. And then you're going to want to sell them. And you're not going to be able to get much money for those things, unless they're not like super rare, weird, collectible things. But usually you're going to be at a loss. You know, not a good wear investment. By wear investment, meaning buying something that you're going to wear a long time. That's a good investment, because if you spend money on something and then you wear it for many, many years, it's a really good cost per wear ratio. Something as classic as a Speedy, you might get tired of the Speedy today, but you're gonna rediscover it tomorrow again, because it is timeless. And every single person I know, or almost every single person I know, that has been writing me underneath my videos and my comments, and they said, you know, whenever I unbox a Speedy or I review my Speedy, they say, oh, Dacob, you know, I had the Speedy, I loved it, and then I sold it and I regretted it so much. I regretted so much selling my Speedy. Like 90% of the people tell me that. And that's why I always say, you get tired of your Speedy, don't sell it. Put it in the wardrobe, let it sleep, give it its beauty rest, and then rediscover it a year or two later, and you're going to fall in love with it all over again, because it is timeless. And the prices just keep going up. So you're going to be so happy to have something that you purchased when the prices were much lower, as opposed to the moment when you rediscover it 2 years later and the price has gone up another 10 times. Another interesting thing that I would like to add for Hermes, okay? Now, obviously, when it comes to their leather, they are known for having the best leather pieces in the industry, in the luxury industry. So, you know, but people always think, well, their leather is Birkins and Kellys. Well, no. First and foremost, their leather is made towards horses and horseback riding, and saddles and boots for horseback riding. And they do the most gorgeous saddles mostly in Barenia leather. I mean, and it's just divine. And of course, they also do bags, but most of their most coveted bags are hard to get, because their, you know, marketing strategies produce the bags in small quantities. They don't want to sell them to everybody, yada, yada, a whole other can of worms. But there are those bags that you can get without a purchase history. You can just be lucky enough to walk into an Hermes boutique and ask for a certain bag. And if they have it in stock, they will sell it to you. I've been looking for this bag for several years now, and I finally found it coincidentally while I was flying through the world for my presentation of the premiere of my movie Art Lovers Unite with Vivienne Westwood and Patrick J. Thomas. We're still in the process of bringing the movie to different parts of the world. So in one of these airports, there was an Hermes boutique, and I found this beauty. I've been looking for the Aline bag in leather, in black leather, Milo lambskin, by the way, for years now. And they make, the classic one is made in canvas. But it's really hard to find one in black leather. This thing is not only in Milo lambskin exterior, it's even lined in Milo lambskin. I've done a review of this bag on my channel. I mean, this is insane. Now, it is an entry-level piece. It comes with this strap. You can wear it crossbody, or you could wear it also as a necklace, just hanging around your neck, or just, you know, shoulder, or on the back, crossbody, and wave it to the back. Yes, it does have a logo on it, so it's a little bit less quiet luxury, but it is such a gorgeous tactile experience. This leather, honey. Now, entry-level piece, why am I saying this? Because this is under the $2,000 price tag. This one is around $1,500 more or less. give or take, depending on the leather. You know, if you buy it in canvas, it's even cheaper. It's around about $1,100 dollars. But listen, you're going to say this is really expensive, and it's crazy expensive for what it is. Yes, but if you're just starting off your journey at Hermes and luxury wise, and you want to get into their leathers, yeah, you can buy their little wallets, but that doesn't give you the feeling of a bag. If you want to feel how it is to deal with their leather, a Birkin and a Kelly can set you back easily $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. It goes endless, you know, depending on what material they're made of. But let's say a decent type of Birkin in a decent size, $15,000 easily. So when you have that in mind, if you're going to commit to an Hermes leather bag, start with something small. It's a bag. It's Hermes leather. You can see how their leather behaves. You see how the bag wears in their leather. And you're also getting a classic because this is from the stable. This is from the horse riding gear collection. This is meant to, you know, you wear this as you're going into to groom your horses. And the original idea for this pouch is to keep your horse grooming gear in here. The brush for the horse, the comb, other utensils that you might need in the barn. But of course, you can also use it when out and about on the town. So it has such a beautiful heritage and history, and it's very quintessentially Hermes. This is the type of stuff they started doing when they first started their own Hermes journey. We talk about the Hermes journey of getting a Birkin and a Kelly and a Constance, but Hermes as a brand also had their own journey, and they had to also start somewhere. You know, and creating all of these accessories for their horses, for, you know, grooming horses, is part of their heritage and DNA. And the Aline bag, that's the name of this, is the Aline bag, is one of their quintessential accessories when it comes to their DNA. So you really own a piece of history, of Hermes history, when you buy this little bag, but you're not breaking the bank like you would be with a Birkin or a Kelly. Imagine buying a Birkin or a Kelly and then you realize, yeah, it's great, but it doesn't really suit my lifestyle. Well, you spent a lot of money. Granted, it's up until now relatively easy to, you know, sell it off if you don't like it. There's always going to be somebody ready to buy it from you if you can prove that it's authentic. And a lot of people actually say that they make a profit off of reselling them, right? But that's also a hassle. Who wants to spend a lot of time building a relationship with their sales associate and then get offered to buy a bag, and then you realize, oh, you know what? Actually, this is not really for me. I don't know. It doesn't feel luxurious to me. So they also do the Malin bag, which is slightly bigger than this, that has perforations at the bottom as well, and kind of has two straps that you pull. Well, it's one strap that goes twice around, so you could use it also as a backpack. I use this one a lot. It's really gorgeous to put my wallet in here, my iPad in here for filming, my sunglasses even fit in here, and I'm good to go. Also, it stays very close to the body, so you feel it always next to you, so it's really hard for anybody to kind of get in there and try to steal something. And it doesn't break the bank like the other. Well, it does, but when we're talking luxury, this doesn't break the bank as other products do. Another thing that I would get at Hermes, if you're starting your luxury journey, their prêt-à-porter. It is the quintessential quiet luxury because, first of all, it doesn't break the bank. Listen, a t-shirt, cotton t-shirt at Chanel, long sleeve cotton t-shirt, not a button-up shirt, just a cotton jersey t-shirt, is over $2,000 now at Chanel. Plus tax. You heard it right. Now, $2,000 for a t-shirt. At Hermes, you get their beautiful, quiet luxury, most minuscule, tiny H stitched somewhere, almost invisible, usually ton sur ton. The same color of the thread is used as the color of the shirt. Button-up shirt, beautiful cut, beautifully tailored, $500, $600. That's where they start. And then they go upwards to $2,000 or what, depending on how complicated the shirt is to make. But for luxury standards, they're more fairly priced than Chanel would be. So Hermes, I would definitely consider buying their pret-a-porter because price-wise, their pret-a-porter does, you know, you try to find another luxury brand that sells you a classic, beautiful white shirt or denim shirt for $600. Forget about it. Even if they're like lower luxury brands, they're still going to charge you over $1,000 for a simple shirt. Hermes is quite fair when it comes to, I mean, of course, it's luxury. What is fair in luxury? Nothing. But comparatively speaking to the other luxury brands, Hermes is still fair when it comes to pret-a-porter. But their pieces are very simple and quiet luxury. But they're gorgeous. They're going to last you a long time. They're quite resistant to wash, to wear and tear. So I would recommend them. Also, their ponchos from the horse riding department. Their ponchos are great no matter how big or small you are. They always fit. They expand with you. They're woolen cashmere blend, and they're also around $1,000, $1,000 to $2,000 depending on the material. Now, at Chanel, what I would also highly recommend if you're starting off is their brooches. Coco Chanel was famous for her costume jewelry. Yes, I do consider their camellia also to be a brooch, but if you want the brooch, biggest tip I can give you here, whatever you do, do not buy the double C brooches. Those are the brooches that, you know, they're like, first of all, they're not quite luxury, but second of all, they're kind of not really tasteful. I have in my collection a few double C actually only two, and I have a lot of Chanel brooches that I bought throughout the years. And those are the two that I never wear, but I bought them because they're very particular. Again, you see, back then when I was what was I saying at the beginning of this video? I stopped buying stuff to collect. You know, I buy them to wear them. And those two double C brooches I bought back then because I was like, oh, this is great for the collection. Collecting dust. But the brooches I would recommend you to buy are the heritage Chanel brooches. Don't forget, Coco Chanel, while she was alive, she never did the double C logo on clothing or accessories. Never. The double C logo was only utilized on cosmetics, perfumes, you know, on their cosmetic bags, pouches. That double C was used on cans, tins, perfume lids, perfume stoppers, but not on accessories, not on clothing. Granted, when Coco Chanel was alive, there was only haute couture, not pret-a-porter. So haute couture still today with Chanel, if you pay the money for haute couture, handmade, they take the logos off. But if you buy pret-a-porter, the logos are very visible. It's almost like you got to pay more to get the ads taken off of you, just like you would, let's say, on YouTube. If you pay premium, you don't get ads playing in. If you don't pay premium, the ads play. It's a bit contorted considering that you're still paying so much for these luxury brands for pret-a-porter and you still get the ads. They want to charge you even extra more to take off the ads. Like haute couture, Chanel, there's no visible logo externally. Their heritage brooches is what I would do. That's like, those are brooches that are directly connected to the time when Coco Chanel was alive, the type of design aesthetic that she had when she was alive. So here I have a beautiful example of a heritage Chanel brooch. Also, I would be very, very cautious and I would only really look to buy the ones that are made in France and nowhere else. I have broken that rule. I do have some made in Italy, but they're not as good. It's the made in France where it's at, and best is if they're made by Goussons, a brand that Chanel worked with. They were making her costume jewelry in bronze, 24 karat gold plated when she was alive. And now Goussons still continues to make for Chanel costume jewelry, mostly during their Métier d'Art collection, which brings me to the point of telling you, I highly recommend you to get the costume jewelry brooches from the Métier d'Art collections, which come once a year. Goussons also produces brooches throughout the year for all their collections, but Métier d'Art is usually more special and more heritage. So the first example I'm going to show you is not Métier d'Art. It is from fall-winter 17 or fall-winter 18. It is made in France. It is Goussons. Check this out. This is a heritage Chanel brooch. It is in metal. It is a galaxy. This is from their space travel collection. So it is almost like a galaxy. It is three-dimensional. It's kind of bubbly, as you can see. And if I come in really close, it's like you can see the whole galaxy in there. So beautiful. Yes, there's that double C. You can't have it without the double C nowadays. But this is a classic Chanel bro. Again, you can put it on a hat. You can put it, and these are quite heavy. It's metal with resins and pigments and colors and glass, and they can have crystals and all sorts of things. But you can put it, usually these go on heavier jackets, because on this shirt, this would tear it. It's very, very heavy. But it's beautiful for a hat, for a lapel of a jacket, of a tweed. They're just gorgeous. 2017. Now, for those of you who are not religious or not, and don't have an issue with Byzant's heritage, why am I talking about this now? Because Chanel worked a lot with Maltese crosses, and her most famous brooches are the Maltese brooches, and the Maltese crosses that she utilized mostly in the 30s. And Chanel still today manufacture these special Byzantine and Byzance-inspired Maltese crosses from time to time, usually for their Métier d'Art collections, not only. And I have a great example of one of them. It's this beautiful golden, again, Goussens, 24 karat gold plated with resin. This is really elegantly solved. They had to put the logo somewhere, but it's inside the resin. That double C is almost invisible. But the beauty about their costume jewelry is that it's as beautiful in the back as it is in the front. So in the back, you have this burst of sun and that double C logo hiding behind there. This one was made in France. And like I said, not everybody's into crosses, obviously. There's a lot of history that goes there as well. So we get it. That's why I showed you something. I showed you a heritage example that is not a cross. But if you do not have an issue with crosses and you want a piece of Chanel heritage, you're going to get a Maltese cross or a Byzance cross. And these are also insane. Usually these are really good if you button up the shirt and you kind of just, and you place it right there. It's something else. Like immediately you're wearing Chanel, even if it's just the brooch. And you have to know where to position it. Like I just showed you, this one goes in the middle right here. And and all of a sudden you are Chanel. So it's very important to understand how these brands work, to learn their heritage, to learn their history. And once you've learned their history, you realize you don't need a lot of money. You don't need to be dressed from head to toe in all of their logos to feel and live the essence and the verve of that luxury brand. One little detail is enough. In fact, it can go even simpler than that. You know how some people say, oh, you can't afford anything. Well, the brand's made at least perfumes, so that you can at least own a little bit of the brand. I respect perfumes very much, and I'm personally of the idea that perfumes are not to be underestimated, especially when it comes to brands like Chanel, because their perfumes have heritage and history. Hermes created Chanel No. 5. In 1921, it was released. If you want a piece of Chanel essence, and not necessarily because you can't afford anything else, no, it has nothing to do with money, but you want to be able to feel it and smell it. This is what I recommend. The ultimate luxury, the pure perfume of Chanel No. 5. Let me tell you, you want to feel like $1 million and you want to live that dream and fantasy, entry level, because obviously, it is tiny. It's 7.5 ml only, but it's the extrait. It's the parfum, the highest concentration. For about $120, you get this little baby. You can also buy it as a splash bottle, but I love the spray. This is the essence of Chanel. So this is a great Great, great, great entry ticket, ultimate entry ticket into luxury, you know, that doesn't break the bank, but makes you feel so many things. It triggers memories as well. And you also get to learn a little bit more about the brand, like how Chanel, how Coco, what she smelled. And Chanel is really good with reformulations. So yes, a lot of you are going to say, but it's been reformulated, it doesn't smell the same. I disagree. They really preserve very well the essence of Chanel No. 5 through the extrait. Mind you, they harvest the May rose and the jasmine from Grasse, from their own fields and the fields that they work with, from Grasse to do the extrait. There's not enough flowers to do their entire range, so they cannot do the eau de toilette and the eau de parfum au première of No. 5 with the Grasse May roses and the Grasse jasmine. No, the Grasse jasmine and the Grasse May rose are only held for the extrait. This is a special treat. Marilyn Monroe used to wear a couple of drops of Chanel No. 5 to go to bed every night. So imagine a little spritz of this, one camellia or the brooch. The fantasy's full, it's complete. You don't need to have to spend $100,000 to have a full outfit from Chanel, including bag. And if you really want leather from Chanel, I highly recommend to get, well, at the moment, I'm not happy with their leather, so I would not recommend getting their leather at all, because for my personal standards, and this is just my opinion, their leather is not good quality anymore. But if you really want to go there, I have here a couple of examples of wallets that I've purchased throughout the years, many years ago. Here's one of them. This is in caviar leather. This one is from 2015. Back then, the leather was good. It's been well worn and well loved. It's still being used. Good quality back then. They also have, I've gifted to my mom another wallet that I don't have here because my mom has it, but it kind of has the shape of the Timeless Classic bag. And I recommend sometimes from time to time they have them in their assortment. Ask yourself why they don't always have it in their assortment. Because they don't want you to buy something that looks too close to the Timeless Classic. Why? Because they don't want you to be able to afford it. Because they still want to live rent-free in your head. That FOMO realtor space, you know, property. They want to own that in your head. So they don't want you to have something too close to their Timeless Classic. What am I saying here? The wallet that I purchased, which was one of the first things that I purchased from Chanel, and I gifted it to my mom, was a wallet in this shape. Okay, the flap actually goes around the wallet, just like here, but the wallet ends with a little tiny, I call it the little tongue. And then it's a clip wallet, it's a press wallet, it doesn't have a turn lock, but it gives you the idea of the bag in miniature. And this is interesting, and I would recommend, you know, buying the wallet just to kind of itch that scratch, or scratch that itch, rather, a little bit. In terms of, it's like owning a little miniature Chanel bag. You know, you open it, you lift it, you see how it is to deal with the flap, you feel how the leather behaves. Do you enjoy using it or not? You know, it kind of satisfies you a little bit, and you would be surprised. Sometimes that is actually enough, and then you kind of lose interest in actually spending the $10,000 for the big one. So if you're going to get a wallet, get something that is in shape and look and tactile wise as close as possible to the bag. Because then in your mind, that will help you soothe that desire that the brand has created inside of you to want to have the actual bags that they in reality don't want you to have. They've created the FOMO in you, but they're keeping the prices right out of your range so that you cannot afford them, so that you keep buying other things. But be careful, by buying all these other little things, you keep chipping at your budget. You might be saving up money for a bigger bag, but then you got that itch that needs a scratch, and you want, you know, you're going to buy a little thing here, a little thing there, a little, you know, that's $500 here, $1,000 there. Oh, let me spend $600 here. And before you know it, you got your $8,000, $9,000 spent in little things. So do not buy too many little things. Focus on only the ones you use. Look, in my case, only one wallet. I've had this since, like I said, 12 years now or even more. Only one key pouch and only one card holder. And that's it. That's it. I did not waste any more money on wallets in all these years. 2012, I think this was 2014, 2015. Now we're, as I'm making this video, 2023. That's it. I have not purchased other wallets, other luxury wallets since. So I have not chipped off of my budget for bigger products. I have been very, very clever. I did not allow myself to keep buying another wallet and another wallet. I mean, I see videos on YouTube of people, I mean, listen, if that's what you collect, if your shtick is to buy 50 different wallets of the same brand in different colors, okay, then that's your thing. That's your passion. Good. But that's not my passion. My passion was to get the essentials that are going to serve me, that are going to last me a long time. And the rest of my budget, I keep for the other items that I don't have. I don't need 10 wallets. I don't. But that takes a lot of discipline and training. You can also see it this way. For every time, okay, so let's say you bought these 3, and now like you want that big bag, but you don't have the $10,000. Okay, so you go to Chanel and you're like looking at stuff and oh, look at this wallet, so cute, $800. Okay, I could, yeah, let's get it. You just spent $800, but you already have a wallet. So I recommend doing this instead when you're in the Chanel boutique. You see that wallet that you're like, okay, let me scratch that itch. Or let me itch that scratch. No. Instead, how much is that wallet? $800? Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I am not going to buy that wallet, but I obviously have the money because I would have bought it. So I'm going to put those $800 today into a savings account towards my bag, the big bag that I want to buy. And that money is gone. Don't touch it. Don't even remember that you have that money. It's you spent it virtually on that wallet that you didn't buy. But it's as if you bought it. You give yourself the money instead of giving it to Chanel. And then a couple of months later, that itch comes back again. You go into the boutique. You're like, oh my God, I'm craving something so bad. You find another wallet in another color. And now price increase happened. Now it's $900. And no, pay yourself the $900. You already have the $800 waiting for you in your deposit. Now you're adding another $900. Ka-ching. And that's a good little mind game and mind trick you can play with yourself. And before you know it, you got your budget for a bigger bag. Chanel also has whimsical pieces. Here I'm going to show you another example. A seasonal piece. Very rarely does a seasonal piece have such iconic standard or such iconic power. In the 90s, Carl created the heart bag. Very different to this one. In 2022, Virginie brings back the heart bag in a new shape in different sizes. There were 4 sizes total. This is the smallest of the sizes, super cute. It's a little necklace version of the Chanel heart bag in lambskin leather. Yes, this is a turn lock, teeny tiny, super cute. But this thing, it's a necklace with a tiny piece of leather attached to it. You can't put anything in it. This is literally an accessory. You wear it as a necklace, plus it twirls in itself all the time. So most of the time you're wearing it, it's going to be hanging backwards like this, so you won't even see the little cute flap. However, this is a piece that you should only buy if you really are into this particular shape and the brand, okay? Why am I showing you this piece? I'm showing you this piece because there are always alternatives. And the alternatives are, well, I love Chanel, so for me this was a must-have. But And it looks super cute when you're wearing it. But let's be honest, this is a novelty piece. This is a novelty piece. If you love Chanel necklaces, you buy this. It is what it is. Okay, it's a novelty piece. But if you are into heart bags, and let's say one season in particular, Chanel or Hermes or Louis Vuitton or Dior are the big four, are releasing something like the heart bag and it's the trend of the season, I recommend to resist the FOMO and go into heritage brands, which I consider luxury, even though the prices are not luxury, that also work with heart bags. Or look into a brand that does the shape, that has been doing the shape that the major fashion luxury brands are now utilizing as a trend moment, even though they're not inventing anything new. Chanel did not invent the heart bag. Okay, let's be very clear about this. I would then go and do some research and see which other brands that are gorgeous also do heart bags. Well, I have an answer for you. My favorite is Vivienne Westwood. The Vivienne Westwood heart bag, she has been making these since the 80s, okay, in many different shapes and sizes and forms. This one comes with a detachable metal chain. Yeah, Chanel is not going to make them detachable. Vivienne is going to make them detachable. You can use the chain as a necklace. You can also use the bag as a little clutch, as a little wallet. It has this zipper pull all around. Beautiful interior lining in a, what you might call it? It's like an embroidery. Oh my gosh. Forgot the name. It'll come to me. But it's not printed, okay? This entire inlay with the Vivienne Westwood orb is really beautifully made. It's in Saffiano leather. She also does other leathers as well. It has the metal orb, symbol of Vivienne Westwood. Chain detachable. You can wear it gold metal chain to match the hardware. And available in many different colors every year. Lays very flat and nice and close to the body. It is such a beautiful bag. I've been waiting for a chocolate burgundy Vivienne Westwood bag for years, and I was so lucky that actually last year she brought it out. I'm so happy to have this bag. I've been wanting a chocolate burgundy color just like this one. Up close, you can see even more how gorgeous this Saffiano leather is. Now, this bag was $200. This one was almost $3,000. So I'm telling you, be very, very cautious what you decide to spend your money on and how much these things are really actually worth to you. Very, very, very important. Now, these prices are available online. This is no secret. You can find readily available prices on the Chanel website for their pieces. When the season comes out, when their seasonal pieces come out, you see the prices online. You know, there's no secret about that. When it comes to Dior, honestly, I think they're struggling a lot with their style for entry-level pieces. I've been talking about this in other videos. I do believe that their carrés, their silk foulards with the Dior logo all over them is the way to go if you want something Dior-esque. But not even. And the Lady Dior bag is very expensive, so that's not an entry-level piece. With Dior, I would actually recommend you to maybe delve into their exclusives perfume range. So, and in fact, what they've started doing since a couple of years, I have here an example. They've started making their really expensive perfumes also in smaller bottles. So you can test them out, but also some of them are really, really gorgeous. So an entry level for me, luxury-wise for Dior, is their Collection Privée perfume range. And one of my favorites is Eau Noire. And this is Eau Noire. Hold on, let me see if you can see this. Eau Noire. This is a 40 milliliter version. Usually they're available in really big bottles. Masterpiece of a perfume, okay? No other brand has a perfume like this in their assortment. I would recommend Bois d'Argent, Eau Noire, and Cologne Blanche, the original three from the Collection Privée that were originally released around 2002/2003. And now Bois d'Argent has remained in rotation all these years, but reintroduction to Cologne Blanche and Eau Noire in 2022 as Francis Kurkdjian took over the artistic direction of Dior Perfumes, because these were his creations in the early 2000s, by the way. So you see, I'm kind of dropping all of these hints and all of this information that's connected to the heritage of the brand because it's important to know these things. If you know that Francis Kurkdjian actually is the nose behind Eau Noire and Cologne Blanche from back in 2003, and that he became artistic director of Dior Perfumes in 2021/2022, you know that he's going to bring a lot of attention to reformulating and bringing back to its original glory the first perfumes that he created for Dior back in the day. With all that in mind, you're hunting down the most important pieces of the brand. And the most important pieces of the brand are not necessarily the pieces that are trending on Instagram at the moment. Not at all. Most of the time, the most important heritage pieces that are timeless classics for the brand are going to be the ones that are not advertised, are the ones that you have to find out about them, are the ones that go, if you know, you know. You know? Like the Camellia for Chanel, like the heritage brooches, not the double C brooches at Chanel. Like the silver pieces at Hermes, or the horse riding gear. Or, you know, the Louis Vuitton Speedy. Listen, they're not advertising the monogram Speedy. Yeah, it's not even in their shops. Like, you have to ask for it, and then they open a drawer and pull it out for you. Those are the pieces that you know are worth having. When the luxury brand doesn't even have to promote them anymore. Why don't they have to promote them anymore? They don't need to spend the money to promote them anymore. These are pieces that sell themselves because they have become heritage. On the other hand, the brands need to invest a lot of money to promote and advertise those trendy pieces that they're trying to push to make a profit. They have to raise awareness about them because nobody knows about them yet. They're newly designed pieces. For those pieces, they spend a lot of money. So you know they're not heritage. Because they're working a lot to promote them. Then you know something that should raise the alarm bell for you. But you got internet at home, or you got a library, get a fashion book, start doing your research, learn about the history of the brands, find out what are the DNA elements of the brand. That's where we start from. And we start digging there. Everything else is expansion. But if you're just starting your journey in luxury, part of luxury is time. Part of luxury is elegance, not money. Part of luxury is the history of the brand. It's the amount of decades, in some cases centuries, that a brand has spent to build up the reputation of the style of certain pieces. Once you know that, and you have a relatively solid knowledge, that's when you go for the jugular and you start purchasing those pieces. And trust you me, if you follow those rules, you will not find yourself very often sitting in front of a camera, if you have a YouTube channel, telling to your viewers, oh, I bought something, but I'm not really feeling it, so I'm not going to sell it again. Because if you stay really truthful to yourself and to the history of the brand, you will buy those pieces that you will never get tired of. Because style and class has nothing to do with trend and fashion. Sometimes they intersect, rarely. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they're two different worlds. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I was trying to be as thorough as possible with as many details as possible. This, to me, I think is the ultimate guide to initiating a luxury collection. I hope it's been helpful. Let me know in the comment section down below if it has been helpful. And if you did enjoy this video, thumb it up and share it with other luxury and fashion enthusiasts who wish to begin their luxurious journey and travel through time to find their way to the best pieces to complete their collections, their luxury collections. Thank you guys so much for watching. Never forget to never give up on love and subscribe.